Sorry. Okay.
Announcing the arrival of Yang Amat Berbahagia Datin Sri Rosma Mansor, spouse of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, spouses of ASEAN and East Asia summit leaders, and the United Nations Secretary General to the Grand Ballroom. Your Majesties, Excellencies, honourable guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the signing ceremony of the 2015 Kuala Lumpur Declaration on the establishment of the ASEAN Community and the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2025, Forging Ahead Together. To begin this morning's ceremony, may I now invite the Honourable Prime Minister of Malaysia on stage to deliver his remarks. Datuk Sri, if you please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And a very good morning, Your Majesty, Honorable ASEAN heads of state, governments, and heads of our dialogue partners, and Mr. Secretary General, United Nations, Secretary General, ASEAN, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to take you back to 48 years ago when ASEAN's founding fathers first gathered in Thailand to sign the Bangkok Declaration. I was only 15 when my late father, Tun Razak, together with Adam Malik, Narciso Ramos, S. Rajaratnam, and Tanat Koman, declared the establishment of ASEAN. Even at that age, I remember being well aware that it represented an important change in the way the countries in our region dealt with one another. We could have little idea, however, of just how historic and consequential a moment that was. A leading ASEAN thinker once wrote, and I quote, "As the Balkans of Asia, Southeast Asia should have been the natural epicenter of separatism and conflict. Instead, over the past 5 decades, it has emerged as one of the global epicenters of peaceful resolution of conflicts." That magnificent achievement is because of ASEAN. Where there was war, it has brought peace. Where there was extreme poverty and hardship, it has brought development and progress to our peoples. And where there was division and fear, it has brought unity and stability. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 years after the Bangkok Declaration, in 1997, ASEAN leaders gathered here in Kuala Lumpur and adopted the ASEAN Vision 2020. The seed of the idea of a community was then planted in Bali in 2003. The blueprints and action plans followed. And today, on behalf of ASEAN member states, represented at the 27th ASEAN Summit in Kuala Lumpur by the heads of state and government, it is my solemn duty and privilege as the chair of ASEAN 2015 to pronounce the establishment of the ASEAN community on 31st December 2015. It is based on 3 pillars: the ASEAN Political and Security Community, the ASEAN Economic Community, and the ASEAN Social-Cultural Community. In practice, we have already virtually eliminated tariff barriers between us and under the ASEAN Free Trade Area. This makes our manufacturing industry more competitive in the global market and reduces costs for everyone. We now have to ensure that we create a truly single market and production base with freer movement of goods and services, with common standards, far greater connectivity, and the removal of the barriers that make our borders a hindrance to growth and investment will expand exponentially. It is our combined GDP. It's expected to reach $4.7 trillion by 2020. According to one forecast, ASEAN has the potential to be the 4th largest economy in the world as early as 2030, only 15 years from now. Therefore, there is so much we stand to gain economically that will benefit the daily lives of all our citizens. But the notion of the ASEAN community goes beyond that. It is also about all of us, each of us, being ASEAN, recognizing that there is something that binds us together, something special, and making our citizens feel that ASEAN courses through their veins. That is what will make, in a final analysis, our community a reality. That is what will reward the efforts and contribution of subsequent leaders and peoples of ASEAN, without whose help we would not have reached this historic milestone. And if we have exceeded the expectations of our founding fathers, that is because we have found strength in our diversity. Our ASEAN way has guided us and will continue to be our compass as we seek to realize a politically cohesive, economically integrated, socially responsible, and a truly people-oriented, people-centered, and rules-based ASEAN. We have now raised the bar and the expectations of our peoples. We are charged with meeting the aspirations of our younger generations and those to come. We appreciate the hard work of the high-level task force on the ASEAN community's post-2015 vision. Thanks to them, we have our roadmap, ASEAN 2025, forging ahead together. And our task remains the same, to echo the conclusion of the Bangkok Declaration. It is to bind ourselves further together in friendship and cooperation, and through joint efforts and sacrifices, secure for our peoples and for posterity the blessings of peace, freedom, and prosperity. The ASEAN community is a landmark achievement on the way to reaching those goals. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now continue that journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Sri. Please do remain on stage for the next part of this morning's ceremony. May I now invite all ASEAN leaders to join the Prime Minister on stage for the next part of today's event. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will start the ceremony with the signing of the 2015 Kuala Lumpur Declaration on the establishment of the ASEAN community, followed immediately by the signing of the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2025, Forging Ahead Together. The Honourable Prime Minister of Malaysia. His Excellency Prime Minister of Laos People's Democratic Republic. His Majesty Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam. His Excellency Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency, President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. His Excellency, President of the Republic of the Philippines. His Excellency, Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore. His Excellency, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand. His Excellency, Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Your Majesties, Excellencies, honourable guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the Prime Minister of Malaysia to present the signed copies of the two declarations to the Secretary-General of ASEAN, His Excellency Le Luong Min. Let us now welcome His Excellency Le Luong Min to the stage. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the signing ceremony of the ASEAN community. A big thank you to Your Excellency, and we welcome you back to your seat. I am now pleased to invite the ASEAN leaders to join the Prime Minister of Malaysia center stage for a group photo. And now, the ASEAN way. There you have it, once again, ladies and gentlemen, the signing ceremony of the ASEAN community. Thank you very much to our ASEAN leaders. We would now like to invite all of you to proceed to the line of drums at the foot of the stage. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, the line of drums before us represent a ceremonial instrument found within all ASEAN nations which symbolize unity in diversity. And here to mark the establishment of the ASEAN community, we've placed a drumstick on each of your drums. And on the count of 3, we would like to invite our ASEAN leaders to strike the drum once, to symbolize the journey ahead together as one ASEAN. Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, 2, and 1. Thank you very much to our ASEAN leaders. We now welcome you back to your seats to enjoy a very special video presentation. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to now present to you a special Technicolor presentation to commemorate the establishment of the ASEAN Community 2015.
In this land, every grain of sand tells a powerful story. We have always stood at the crossroads of history. Nestled in the heart of Asia, we are replete with our own narratives that transcend physical divides. Found between our majestic mountains, flowing rivers, and bountiful seas, where the beauty of diversity brings us together in a place we call home, putting us on the journey towards charting a common destiny. We have weathered challenges and celebrated triumphs. For nearly half a century, ASEAN has been our foundation. Together, we are linked in friendship, cooperation, and commerce, bringing lasting peace, stability, and prosperity. this ever-changing world, we resolve to build upon our achievements, to realize an integrated, resilient, and outward-looking community, imbued with a strong sense of togetherness and common identity. From combining each grain of sand, we forge ahead together. Opportunities for peace, prosperity, and harmony. Creating history, an ASEAN community.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, to commemorate the establishment of the ASEAN community. We sincerely hope you enjoyed that presentation. And with that, we conclude this momentous occasion. Your Majesties, Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Malaysian government, we would like to express our utmost appreciation to leaders and their spouses, at the United Nations Secretary General and spouse for taking part in this signing ceremony. With that, I'm pleased to announce the departure of the Prime Minister of Malaysia and Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor, ASEAN, East Asia Summit leaders, and United Nations Secretary General and spouse. Thank you very much.